Diaz Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye up, bye up. And in Menudo style and direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all, so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel, and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled, and I'm very much so appreciative. So gracias. I knew I couldn't do this without you, and I still can't, right? So I keep getting asked questions about Renegade Media. I think it's J559, J-Hands, right? I know him as J-Hands. And I'm going to be straight up when I tell you, man, if you have a question, I can't answer for that man. You know, I don't know what he's thinking, why he does what he does, man, what his aspirations are for the future. But what I can tell you, man, is I could answer on my behalf, and I could tell you straight up how I feel and what's going on, right? And that's just straight up. No cut, no added preservatives. Just pura. Straight up, man. Knowledge you can't get in college. Now, the question I was asked, and I've been asked several times, and I was asked again yesterday, was, why does myself and J-Hands hate active norteños so much? What is it about active gang members that we just despise or hate? First of all, I'm going to answer for myself, man, and you guys could ask him that question. Let him answer. And I could tell you things that I know about and things that I've seen, right? Myself, I don't hate anybody. I definitely don't hate active gang members, man, because I once was one. See, you got to understand, when you come from a situation to automatically despise or hate the hand that fed you, all that you knew and know, to me, that's hypocritical, right? You can't still dress a certain way, carry yourself a certain way, use certain tactics and certain wordplay and certain things that you learned along the way, gangbanging, but utilize it to talk shit, to disrespect, to hate on these people, right? I feel if you're an active gang member, man, at this point in life, you know, you're going to deal with the situations that arise, however you deal with them. See, times have changed. The active that I was involved in back in the days has changed to the activities now. And just because someone still has a career in the gang life, someone's still embraced, someone's still in good standings, doesn't mean I automatically hate them. Doesn't mean they did something to me in particular that's going to make me hate them. You got to understand, I base all my relationships and all my characterizations upon people. I don't like to judge people, but I'm not going to lie. I think we all judge people just a little bit, right? And I judge people by my interactions with them, how they treat me. If they treat me with respect, they get that same type of energy. If they disrespect me, I'm not going to put too much of my energy into disrespecting them. I have in the past. I've not actives. I disrespected people that have disrespected me. And I realized the old saying that two wrongs don't make a right. So I've had to take the higher road and just say, you know what? I'm going to dust myself off and try again. I'm not going to give that motherfucker energy and power over my mind to let me hate him, you know, so that I have a flawed life. It's not what's going to happen. I got too many priorities, too many decisions to make every day in daily life, too much responsibility to worry about if a person's out there gangbanging or he's not. Now, I would hope that some of these stories that I tell, and they're not meant to glorify prison or glorify gang life, but some of these stories I tell about my life and situations I've firsthand been involved in, or stories that I know that have happened around me, actual stories that people would listen, let it soak into their mente, and realize, man, my ultimate goal is to financially secure my family, to fucking make sure that people out there recognize, man, that going to prison is for the birds, that nobody sitting in the penitentiary right now, nobody sitting in them jail cells wants to be there. Okay, there's not one person that voluntarily wants to be there. Anybody in there would trade right now with you if they could. Now, what they do with their life when they get out is totally up to them. You know, every man has, he has his own ways of thinking. You know, it's free will. It's free will, man, and a person can make the ultimate decision to make moves, make power moves wearing shower shoes, and whether they go back to prison or not and take those penitentiary chances ultimately is up to them. I would hope that a lot of these youngsters that watch my channel, a lot of people that watch my channel would realize, man, I've been through the ringer. I've been on the other side. I know exactly what it is to function at a high level, a different level. And I've seen the cutthroat nature. I've seen the disloyalty. And I've also seen good things. You know, I can't sit here and pile up all the bad and say everything was bad in my life, because it wasn't. There was a lot of good times, a lot of canalismo. There was a lot of times, man, that I broke bread with other norteños, active norteños. I shared that canalismo and I liked it. You know, I realized, though, there was more bad in my life that outweighed the good. I was a bad individual, and those that I kept around me were bad. And so when you keep a lot of cutthroats around you and disloyal motherfuckers to the game, then the game gets tricky. And so you either continue to play the game to your ultimate demise, or you realize, I can't play it no more. Well, guess what? I took my motherfucking king off the chessboard. And that's just it. Whether you like it or not, whether you think that I was disloyal to the gang or disloyal to my people, that's ultimately up to you. But I show a level of loyalty to the people that blessed me and laced me up that others don't show. Now, when I'm asked why I don't like actives, I never said I didn't. I respect the shit out of everyone. And I have no dislike in my heart for norteños. I'm just a straight up individual. I was when I was active, and I am when I'm not active. If you ask me a question and I have the answer, you might not like everything I have to say. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I'm telling you straight up the true feelings and how I feel, right? Now with J-Hands, Renegade Media, you know, I did a video last week. People kept asking me, do we get along? What's our situation? Will I ever do content with him in the future? To be totally honest with you, I don't know. I have not talked to him. I tried to reach out, but I don't know if his phone number was the same, because nobody answered, to be honest with you, right? And I just wanted to clarify with him personally that, because I know as soon as I dropped that video, there were so many people, oh man, before they even watched the video, ran over there, sniveling and crying, hey, Gunner's over there talking bad about you. Gunner's over there talking bad about you. When anyone that knows me and watched that video realized that I had nothing bad to say about him. I just was straight up with why I have chosen to step away from fucking with the guy all the time, right? And the situation is, I felt that it's, you know, some of the things that he speaks on are a little bit dangerous to himself, his family, and myself. So I said, you know what, I'm cool with that. I don't want to talk about people, man, that are still currently actively engaged in prison politics and things like that, because it's very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy, and it could get you fucking caught up, and it could get them caught up. And the last thing I want to see is them men get stretched out for a longer time than they're already doing behind someone running their fucking mouth on the internet. That's the truth. That's facts, right? My name's Bennett. I don't want to be in it. Okay? So I felt that I didn't want to engage in them type of stories or that type of talk. I'm not a hypocrite. In the past, I've spoken on prison organizations, and, you know, I was new to this shit, and I didn't understand, you know, the situation. But having gone back in reflection and thinking about it, you know, I'm not scared. I'm not hiding. You know, I understand people have different ways of talking and doing things, and they have feelings and they feel how they feel. Being me, myself, man, I care about the raza. I care about people active and non-active, and I don't want to see anyone caught up behind my mouth, right? So I'd rather just not speak on that. Now, the question was asked, why do me and J-Hands hate actives? You know, I don't. Like I said, I got nothing but love. I got a lot of brothers that are still functioning, that I chop it up with. And I got a lot of brothers that I still consider homeboys no matter what, because they've never did me dirty. Now, I understand on a personal tip, if someone did you dirty in the game, if you were removed, whacked, then there will be a chip on your shoulder. There will be animosity. See, I was never removed or whacked. You know, I got dirty politicked on just like anyone else, but I put myself in that situation. Ultimately, see, like they say, you know what you sign up for. You have to understand that every prison yard, everywhere you go, every move you make in that lifestyle can get tricky, you know, and no one else is responsible for you but you. So when you see guys that are dropouts or non-active gang members or people that have stepped back, ultimately they had to make that decision. What was the best move in their life? Some didn't get a chance to make that decision. Now, I've watched Renegade Media and I've heard his story. He didn't get to make that decision. He was removed off the yard. Okay? Was it dirty politicking? The way he's told his stories, yeah, it seems that way. It seems that way, you know? And I've seen so many active norteños that were good homies get politicked on and get removed over the most frivolous accusations or bullshit. Now, am I going to sit here and say J-Hands wasn't dirty in the game, and when he was active or when I was active, we weren't doing the same thing to homies? I can't speak for him, but I could tell you right now, I'd be a liar and a fat mouth if I told you I didn't politic on people back in the days myself. I used personal grudges. I used things that I knew about people, man, and because I didn't like, the way this vato rocked, or because I knew him from the streets and I just didn't care for him, he was from a different barrio, or had done something to one of my homeboys back in the days. Yeah, when it came time to take a vote, I raised my hand in the negative. So I can't sit here and say karma didn't catch up and I don't deserve everything that I got. Because it is what it is. But according to that guy Renegade Media and him being removed off the air, I could see where he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I could see where he has a distaste or a sour taste in his mouth towards active individuals, especially Norteños. Okay? Me, myself, I've never disliked anybody. Okay? As I was a youngster growing up, you would think, man, I had that fire burning in my heart. I had an animosity towards the southern side and the Bulldogs later on in life. And I knew where I stood. I knew which side of the fence I was rocking with. I knew I stood with my people first and foremost. Okay? Until I realized that these were all my people. It wasn't just the northern side or the southern side or the Bulldog side. All sides were a raza. And I realized that. So it became, as I got older, and I'm talking about 16, 17, 18, youngster still, but I was well ahead of my years, right? Because I was getting laced up by solid dudes. And as I rose up and I got a little bit more clecha, then I realized these were raza too. And I was making it a point to not engage with raza as least as possible. Right? And it became a part where it was just professionalism. Everything I did on a professional level. If I went at someone, it wasn't no hatred or dislike. It was just fucking, hey, it's business, humps. It's business. If the doors crack, it's just business. I don't personally hate you. I don't know you, bro. And that's what it was with me. I was always a little bit different. When I got out, I preached that gospel, Billy Graham style, to the homies. And a lot of them didn't like that. A lot of them hated Southsiders and Bulldogs and to the fullest and were willing to sacrifice, make the ultimate sacrifice because of that. And I would tell them, hey, why? You don't even know them vatos, bro. We can't allow them vatos to invade our land. It's too late for all that shit. They've been here, puto. Stop it. If they don't pose a threat to your safety and security hands on, then don't worry about them, bro. You can't take them all out. They're like roaches. They're going to be there, bro. If they ain't fuck with you, don't fuck with them. That's how I felt. A lot, that's poison. You're supposed to be for your people. I've always been for my people, but I was trying to lead my people away from incarceration, lead my people to get money, lead my people in a better path rather than just destruction. And I believe Jay Hands is trying to do the same thing. I believe he's trying to persuade people in his own way of doing it to show them there's different levels to this, to show them, man, that prison is not a righteous place, to show them some of the things that he's went through. And you could tell he has a chip on his shoulder. He was removed. He did pay an ultimate price. People like himself, and I'm not speaking for him, I'm just saying people like him and me, we went through a lot. No one will ever understand what it is to be a Norteño unless you are one. Okay? No one will understand the sacrifices that you make unless you've really been in the mix at a certain level. Okay? You don't understand until it's too late. Because everyone has this thing about pride. You don't want to admit something. Motherfuckers right now are active in the game and know it's all bad. Know that they're on a one-way trip to some bad shit. And they continue to ride that train. And it's all about pride, man, and how they look and how they care about what other people think about them. And I understand that because I did it for so many years. I would do jales and do whatever. And I knew it was bad. But all I cared about was how the homeboys respected me and what they would say. And every time I got locked up and I never got a penny on my books, never got homeboys tapping in with my family, checking on me, never nothing. I would just go in, do my time with the homies, bust down, sacrifice, go through the struggle, no visitas, always on lockdown. Just do what a Norteño does, right? It's called it's hardships, right? It's the struggle. That's why Norteños go through a struggle, because it's definitely a fucking struggle. Knowing everywhere you go, you're outnumbered, you're undermanned, it's going to be all bad. But you go through that struggle because you have that burning flame in your heart for your people. Just to get out and realize the people that you were fighting for and establishing for didn't even know your ass was locked up. Oh, homie, shit. Oh, serio? You know what I mean? It's crazy. That shit resonates and stays with you. That's a fact. Okay, and I'm sure that's happened in Jahan's life. I can tell by the stories that he's told. But I can't say that man hates actives. I've seen him, and this is my own personal opinion, my 2 cents. Because again, you would have to ask the man the question himself and let him speak on it. But I've seen videos that he's done where he expresses a certain distaste for actives, right? Now, let me say this. Okay, when you go on the other side, SNY, 50-50 yards, you drop out, ultimately they have to place you somewhere. Okay, you have a choice. You definitely have a choice. You can keep on handling your business and staying in the oil, but most people want to get out of the hole and just start fucking moving on with their program, getting visits, canteen packages. So ultimately they're going to go wherever ICC committee sends them. Because let me tell you how it goes. You're in jail, in the hole, whatever, you got whacked, removed, you did a removal, whatever you did to get you in bad standings with your people on every side. You have to sit in the hole for a while before you go to a committee. Then you go and you have to prove to all these white people, man, exactly why you should be placed back on that yard or not placed on that yard. And there's a lot of fucking things that they want you to go through. If you're a validated gang member, yes, they're going to want you to fucking ultimately fucking debrief. Tell them everything you know about that yard. If you're not a validated gang member, then they pretty much know you weren't in the loop like that, or they assume you weren't in the loop like that, right? So it's pretty much at their discretion where they're going to send you according to your record, certain paperwork that's been filed, 1030s, enemy lists, all kinds of things. And then you're sent wherever you're sent. They know that by placing you back on a prison yard, an active GP prison yard, that it's a dangerous situation, not only for you, but for the safety and security of that prison. So more than likely, you're going to be shipped out and placed on the other side. Ultimately, when you get there, it's up to you what you want to do. The motherfucking pleito, it ends in your lap. You get to decide if you want to stay on that yard and function or you don't. Okay? But if you continue to function on whatever yard they send you, it is what it is. All prison is not good prison, right? It's just prison. So, most people move on in their lives and just say, you know what, fuck it. I'm here now. I got to do what I got to do. And that's it. But there are those that join dropout gangs, or what people consider dropout gangs. You know, and there are people that have a chip on their shoulder. They feel some type of way about the actives because they didn't agree with being politicked on. They didn't agree with getting stabbed and removed. They don't agree with it. And then there are a lot of youngsters that come in fresh out the fucking cop car when they dropped out that decide they want to still be cool. They want to be somebody, so they get their faces all tattooed down and everything. They get tattoos all over their body and they play gangster. They play prison. You know, because they couldn't hack it on the GP, so they go over there on the other side where, you know, ultimately, man, they think they're cool because they shit in Chomo's shoes. That's just it. It's the truth. Okay, I don't know if Jayhans dislikes the actives, but if he does, I could see why. You know, I could see where when you make ultimate sacrifice and all you know is the Norteño cause or the Southsider movement or whatever you're from, and you feel like your people dirty match you, you feel like all the sacrifices and everything you made were for nothing, I could see where that Vato's coming from, right? But again, I can't speak for him. You know, I get tired of questions asked about Renegade Media, you know, because people like to twist it. Oh, Gunner, you hate on him. Oh, Gunner, he has more subs than you. Oh, Gunner, this and that. I don't hate that man. I'm glad that man is making bread. I'm glad that man is able to support his family. Hey, that Vato is charismatic and he's doing his thing and he does have some fucking great stories and he has the charisma to tell them. Do I agree with every story? No, and ultimately I don't think he agrees with every story I tell. But there's a lot of similarities. But one thing is for sure, man. I don't dislike anyone, and my thing is not to call people tecatos or to tell you that they're ruining your life, because there ain't no other man ruining your life. You're ruining your life. Okay? When you choose to sign up on that dotted line to gangbang, you just ruined your fucking life. And you have to understand that. You got to hold yourself accountable. You can't talk about how the next man is utilizing you. You allow yourself to be used. You allow yourself, you put yourself in those situations. And a motherfucker, this is a dog-eat-dog world. And if there's an OG that's fucking seasoned up and he sees a lummy dummy coming, guess what? He's going to play you out like the lummy dummy you are. And that's just what it is. Now, when you're a part of a gang and part of a group, yes, there will be a hierarchy. Yes, there will be those that have status and there will be those that ultimately tell you exactly what to do. And you will have to fucking fall in suit and act accordingly. And that's just part of the game. We all know that. It doesn't make you less of a man. It just means you're not that man at that particular time. You know, and that's just the truth. You're going to mind somebody, or your own will remind you. You know, so when I'm asked about Jahan's constantly, I don't know, man. Because anything that I say, people run back and tell him that I'm disrespecting him or I'm talking shit. And I'm not. And I'm sure he watches these videos and understands I'm not. I don't got no fucking hate for this guy whatsoever. I want to see him come up. I'm old school, right? I want to see everyone motherfucking get it. I'm going to get it no matter what. So I want to see him get it. You know, if he wants to tell his stories and it looks like he has a chip on his shoulder because people are like, hey, it looks like Renegade Media hates the actives. Why? You got to ask him that question. You know, I could see a little sourness with them towards active gang members. Feeling some type of way. Maybe his eyes are open to the fact that all the bullshit that he's went through, he doesn't want to see other people go through. I don't either. We have different ways of expressing it. You know, I do it through comedy, through telling my stories in the hopes that people are of an understanding. He does it straight up and tells you right off his sleeve how he feels. Is it dangerous? Absolutely. But what I do, what makes me any different? There's no difference here. We're both not active. We're both not gang members. Now, ultimately, he was part of a dropout gang. He did choose to go that route. He had his reasons. See, there's those that come from the streets that join the dropout gangs because, like I said, they want to play cool. They want to act prison. They want to eat SOS prison style. That's what they want to do. They like to make believe, right? Fairies. Then there's those that were done wrong. And I think Jahan falls into that category. And I'm not speaking for him. I'm just speaking what I've seen. You know, people that join another group that's against actives for whatever reason, because they feel that fuck those who oppose, basically, right? And then there's those, you know, that they just want to fucking, you know, in fact, there's only two. The last ones I don't even like to speak on. You know, they're there just to fucking fuck everyone off, snitching and all kinds of weird shit, right? Anyways, ultimately, I have a question for Jahans, you know, and I think it's content for content purposes. And I'm going to basically take that question and direct it towards him because people keep asking me to speak for him and I don't want to. I can't, right? I can't speak for that man. I have a question though, you know, why does it seem like you don't like the actives? You know, I know, and I'm speaking to Jan's straight up message. I know you got homeboys that are still active. We all do. We still fuck with righteous homeboys. You know, regardless of what people may think, I ain't no actives fuck with you. Okay. You must have never been nowhere, right? You don't know the get down. You know, is it because you felt you were done wrong and dirty? Because I could see it, man. If I felt I was done wrong and dirty, and I was. Ultimately, I was too. I don't allow those motherfuckers the energy or the space in my head. Period. That's a personal thing between me and those selected individuals. You know, as far as the Norteño movement, it's a glorious, and I love that movement. Like Snoop used to say, it's a glorious movement. I love it, right? I love it. I forever will be indebted to the Norteño cause. I forever be indebted to Southerners that have gave me up. I forever be indebted to Bulldogs that show me love, to everyone. But forever forward, I will always be with the raza, no matter where you're from, because that's where I want to be. With that being said, that's my question to you, man. I'm not gonna. I hate people that try to make us be enemies or drama on YouTube. It's not all about that, man. You know, I ain't got no hatred for my heart whatsoever, man. And I want to see that dude shine. But I'm just asking. And that's what it is. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the strive to struggle, the struggle to strive. Bang. It's like that.